morning, everyone. I wanted to kind of show you where we're at. This is the fourth video in kind of my process of making a junk journal from start to finish. Last time we just put together the signatures and I kind of showed you how I pick papers for that and put them together. And the only thing I've done between now and then is I went ahead and I sewed some lace on a couple of these stronger pages just to add some texture, to add some, you know, something a little different. So I added those. I probably added 8 or 9 to the whole book, but you can do whatever you want. So anyway, that's all I've done. And now I wanted to show you how I sew the signatures in. Oh, and I had somebody ask, what's a signature? And I thought, oh yeah, that's true. Probably some people are still learning that part of it too. The signature is just your collection of papers that's going to be stuck into a book. So this is a signature. All right, so I'm going to set these two aside. We don't need them. And I'm just going to show you one. Now, I was going to fabric cover the spine, and then I found this old, it's a book cover, and it was stiff and thick, and it looks just pretty with this. So I just didn't need to cover it. But normally, or sometimes, depending on what you have, I would cover that with fabric because it will be seen. And you want it to look nice. So, I cut this to fit inside this spine. And that's going to be different for every journal that you do. So I just cut it so it's going to fit in there and give me just a tiny gap on the top and the bottom. And then I have 3 signatures, so I need 3 rows of holes. 1 for each signature. So I divide this distance here into 4 equal spaces because you're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4 gaps. So this happens to be 4 centimeters. So the center will be right around 2 centimeters. And then I went out a little less than a centimeter just because I like to keep them a little bit more towards the center, if that makes sense, but you could do it at 1, 2, and 3 centimeter marks, depending on how you want to do it. So, but for me, I just left it a little bit less than that because I wanted it in. Or maybe I did a little, I think I may have done, I did a little bit more than that. That's right. I did a hair more than a centimeter on either end. And that's because there's so much crammed in the center of the book, I wanted to spread it out. So I marked those lines this direction, and I had them just drawn in, penciled in, these entire lines. And then I marked the center this direction. And then I just choose where I want these holes and make sure that I keep them uniform. So for between the center and this one, I did 4, and then between this one and this one, I did 4.5 centimeters. And really, it just depends on where those pages are going to fall and where you want them. I like one near the edge to hold those papers in really good, and then I just did the center and the 2 more. Some people do 4. It seems complicated. I promise, just dive in and do it. It's not complicated. All right, here's the tools that you're gonna want. This is a bookbinding kit. I just bought this one on Amazon. It was, I wanna say $12, and it has everything you need. This is your waxed thread, and it's just really sturdy, so it'll hold everything together. And these are your binding needles. Here's one. They're just nice, big, thick needles. This is your awl, and it's really pointy and sharp. And that's for punching your holes through your signatures and through your spine. So, I promise, not complicated. All right, so I'm just gonna sew in one for you to show you kind of how I do it. First of all, I take my signature, and then I'm gonna use my alligator clips to just hold it, because you want this right here. Let me see. To be nice and lined up, so when you punch your needle through it, it's going to be, it's going to go through the crease on each page. It's okay if it's not perfect, but that helps. The alligator clips to me just kind of help hold it in place. Oh, I just put lotion on. That was a bad idea. Let's see. No, that's not gonna, I'll just muscle it through, hopefully. So I'm just gonna start here, and you just kind of work your way through. You'll see it wasn't too hard, even with lotion. And then that needle's coming right up through that center crease. And I did the top and the bottom holes before I started filming because I didn't want you to have to watch all of it. You just kind of push it up through there. You just pre-make these holes. Usually what I would do is I would be on carpet or something that's nice and soft behind me, so I could push it into that carpet and not risk jabbing myself, but doing it on video. So there you go, it's all lined up with those creases, and then you're gonna punch all your holes. And this one I did on carpet for sure, because this is a nice thick piece. So I just punched it right through. Now, for me on this one, I'm gonna start coming up through the center. Oh, I could turn that and not have to see any of my pencil marks. That's okay, I can erase them. All right, I'm gonna start coming up. It depends on the number of holes and how you wanna do it, but I'm starting coming, oh, and my thread. It's about 2.5 of the length of your signatures. So that'll help you. But I'm starting coming up because I don't wanna see the thread when I finish. If you like to see the thread, some people like it in the middle of that signature, and that's fine. So this is fun to do and try to keep in frame. I hope I am in frame. Oh, good, I am. Yay. And then you're just gonna work your way in that hole. Now you're just gonna kind of go in a weaving pattern, up and down, in and out, and work your way down this spine. Some people skip here and there and then double back. I just do one every time, every other. So I'm going in this one now. And that way is a little bit easier than coming up blindly through that signature. It's nice to go down through the signature, but it works. It works out. All right, so I'm leaving this little tail, obviously. And I'll tighten it up when I get a little closer. Now I'm coming up and up through that last hole. If the lotion will cooperate. And it can be a little tricky. Just wiggle it around until you find it. You don't have to force it. It works out, I promise. Now, for me, to get these holes lined up with my spine, I actually just mark the edge of the spine and set it right here on the signature, and then just mark it using the spine. Some people measure. I just use the exact spine with the holes already there, so I know they're gonna line up. Just work that thread through, and then I'm just gonna work my way right back, and then go all the way back up. And you'll see this works out really slick. So I'm just sewing my pages right into my book. There we go. Trying to keep it fairly taut, but not taking that thread out on the other end. Because I'm going to use that to tie off later. So I'm going to come in here and tighten that up. All right, I'm coming back in here. There we go. Oh, I got right through my thread, darn it. Oh, don't pull that out. Come on back, buddy. There we go. No worries. Then we're coming down. So see, I'm just working along one at a time, up and down, in and out. Not complicated. You have to keep drying these hands off. Okay, now I'm coming up. This is a little nerve-wracking doing this on camera, just saying. All right, and then I'm going to come down because I want to complete that, so there's a string in each one. then I've made it. Normally I like them to end coming out the same one, and you can do that by coming clear over here and then coming back up again, but it's not a big deal if you just want to tie it off right here. So that's what I'm just going to do. I'm going to do a good old square knot. Let's see, right over left, left over right, and pull that through. Trying to keep it nice and tight. And I leave these in because it's not going to hurt, and it's going to give you a little extra support there. All right, so then you can take out your alligator clips. I would continue and do the last two signatures. I'm not going to do it all on camera because you don't need to see all that. But word of caution, make sure that you have everything right side up. Like here's a pocket. That would be bad if I sewed that one in one way and then sewed the other one another way. So make sure you're keeping them right side up. And the next step here after I get all three in is I am going to glue this like there's like my life depends on it. I'm gonna glue. I'll probably use Fabri-Tac. I might even get my hot glue gun out as well and do a little of both, and I am going to stick that down right there into that gap, and it's going to stick, and it's going to be nice and sturdy and stable, and then your book pages will all be in place. So that is how I do the spine, and it's always worked really well for me, and it's not too complicated, so I like it. Another tip is to make sure you get something really thick for this piece right here because it's holding everything in place. So I'll double up on cardstock sometimes, some nice heavy-duty cardstock. Sometimes I get packaging in the mail that I'm like, yes, that is meant for a spine. And this time I just had this old notebook cover, but I had to double up on it. But it was just the perfect colors for this. So I went with it. Anyway, that's the next step, so I'll be back soon with some embellishing and adding in my pockets and tags and all the fun stuff. So, thank you for watching. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Bye.